The teaser for the new Fantastic Four movie showcases a distinctive aesthetic in its environments, spaces, and designs. In fact, you may have noticed it earlier, as we saw something similar from the first promotional image of the team. And well, perhaps you're thinking, what's that? Does it look nice? That's it, but it turns out there is much more to it. This design reveals the movie's anticipated approach, and about a specific social and political context experienced during the 60s. And as a comic fan, I can tell you that I think this is one of the best artistic decisions the Marvel Cinematic Universe has made in its entire history. Why? Today we'll analyze the teaser for the movie Fantastic Four First Steps to find out. Let's begin. The teaser opens with Reed and Sue welcoming a guest to the Baxter Building, the building that is canonically the Fantastic Four's headquarters in the comics. But from here we see some very interesting details that tell us about both the aesthetic and the movie. Reed says the family has dinner together every Sunday at 7 p.m. without exception. The Fantastic Four are an iconic superhero team on par with the Avengers or the Justice League. They have a roster of characters that changes over the years and a membership system that is often chosen by other members. This doesn't really happen with the Fantastic Four. They are essentially a family, and we all know that you can't choose your family, which makes me think they are going to respect this element of the team, which is very important. Aesthetic decisions reveal details about the movie. For instance, the screen dimensions are different at the beginning, as if you were watching the story on an old TV, and then we see how this changes to adapt to a modern screen. It presents a retro story adapted for a modern audience set in the 1960s. While the type of furniture, the design of the buildings, and the cars tell us about two types of aesthetics, the mid-century modern and the Googie. What does this have to do with the Fantastic Four and the movie There You Go? The Fantastic Four? As the first Golden Age Marvel comic, they mirrored the world in which they were created. The astronauts' transformative journey mirrored the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union as they competed to conquer space first. Their powers, on the other hand, speak to how people of those years viewed atomic energy. The car was viewed as an emblem of American might and the gateway to a prosperous modern future. However, it also had a dark side, with the potential for immense destruction as seen through the character of the Thing. The film's aesthetics mirror this sentiment. The spaces in the trailer draw inspiration from mid-century, modern, and Googie architectural styles, featuring curves and designs reminiscent of spacecraft and atoms. And in general, an obsession with looking futuristic. Today we see it as retro-futuristic, but for them it was just futuristic. Just like the Fantastic Four were a reflection of the social problems of that time. This type of aesthetic was also, as they tried to evoke through design, the idea of a better tomorrow. During a period of immense uncertainty, the world's two superpowers vied for greater political and nuclear supremacy. A conflict known as the Cold War. That's why this aesthetic seemed to me the perfect choice for the film. Because it not only tells us about the movie taking place in the 60s, but it reflects the problems and aspirations of that time. Just like the Fantastic Four comics. The teaser showcases this in various elements, from the space design to the integration of the robot Kirby. This theme is also present in other productions like The Incredibles, The Jetsons, and the Batman movie The Mask of the Phantasm, where there is a fair that shows us what the world of the future would look like. Jack Kirby, co-creator of the Fantastic Four, had a style related to mid-century. His drawings certainly aligned with the space age, and this we can see through his designs of machinery, suits, and technology elements that would later become iconic in Marvel Comics. The idea that Americans could conquer any frontier through effort, science, and exploration. This concept is closely related to President Kennedy's speech about the new frontier, one that was not about geographical boundaries but the unlimited potential of humanity. An idea popularized through comics like the Fantastic Four, characters more involved in exploration and science than the superhero world. Reed Richards symbolizes the visionary scientist who, like National Aeronautics and Space Administration engineers, aim to push the boundaries of possibility. Sue and Johnny Stone represent the new generation that grew up in a world of advances, and Ben Grimm is the reminder that progress also has consequences. In fact, during that time, American explorers and scientists were seen as a kind of real-world heroes, something that also influenced why the Fantastic Four was so popular. So it makes all the sense in the world that these children are wearing mole masks. The teaser reflects each of these elements, making me feel that Marvel truly grasped the characters. Not only because of the social context they present us through design, but also because the theme of family appears to be central in the story. Similar to the comics, I appreciate the comic they plan to adapt in the teaser. The Fantastic Four teaser reveals they will adapt the team's first confrontation with Galactus, a 1966 comic that is much deeper than it appears. Galactus was not a typical villain driven by power or conquest, but a cosmic force of nature, as inevitable as a black hole that devoured worlds in order to survive. To create him, Jack Kirby said he was inspired by the Bible. And in this sense, his actions are similar to a type of universal flood that we do not consider as evil, but as a part of a greater plan that humanity is incapable of understanding. Likewise, Silver Surfer serves as a herald of destruction, readying worlds for their impending doom, until it is revealed and adopts elements similar to those of a fallen angel. All of this is adapted into a science fiction narrative and even cosmic horror, as at one point in the original story. The Watcher distorts space-time so that Johnny Storm can travel to Galactus' planet to recover the ultimate nullifier, the only weapon that could save the world. But when Johnny returns from his journey across unimaginable distances and holds the fate of the world in his hands for a moment, does he realize how small he is compared to the cosmos? Throughout the comic, Galactus sees the Fantastic Four as more of a nuisance than a threat. Ants that do not understand why they should be eliminated, but ants nonetheless. In the end, Galactus decides to leave and the world is saved. But it doesn't feel like a clean victory, but rather a loss of innocence, where the Fantastic Four, despite their great powers, realize that they only represent a tiny point in the vastness of the universe. Cobras, is there a lot of material to draw from in this movie? In my opinion, the most important elements of the Fantastic Four are there. The concept of family and social context in one of the most emblematic and profound stories from Marvel Comics' golden age. The question is, can they create a great film with these components? Thanks for watching. To attend my talk, use the link and discount coupon in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to email or message me on Instagram. Looking forward to seeing you. That's all for now. I'm Go. Keep seeking beyond the obvious.